Hey, what's up you guys? It's Manda Lee and I am here today with a Christmas video for you. This video is going to be a speed build, and this speed build is of a Christmas village is what I'm calling it. So I don't know if any of you guys, I know that like growing up I saw a lot of people have these types of like they were basically just mini Christmas villages, and they would like, some people would go so crazy and have like an entire room set aside, and they would have cute little just like Christmas scenes and little bakeries and homes and different stuff and it just basically turned into a mini village. And that's what this was inspired by. So let me know what you guys think, if this build gives you those types of vibes. I end up making this lot into a retail lot because there are like I said, a lot of different shopping venues and stuff. But if you don't have Get to Work, I don't know if you could place this build without having Get to Work. That's actually a good question, because I know that it won't let you place lots that are on the wrong lot type. So but I don't know if this would let you place it if you don't have Get to Work. So I'll have to try to do some digging into that. And if you can't, I might honestly change it to a generic lot type, just because I want to make sure that people can download it even if they do not have the Get to Work pack. Another thing is, this is built on the 64 by 64 lot on the island in Windenburg. And I'm trying to rack my brain right now, but I honestly don't believe that there is another lot this big. There may be one in Brindleton Bay now that I think about it, but this honestly might be the only one. So if that's the case, I do apologize for that again. It's not my intention to alienate people, and I of course want to make my builds as accessible to the biggest amount of people. But sometimes when you're doing a huge build like this, it's just so difficult to make it, to restrict the packs you're using or stuff like that. Okay, so here you can see me placing what are intended to be snow drifts. If you live in a place where there is snow, you know that like when the wind blows, the snow does what's called drifting, and it kind of forms into these piles like that. That is actually, those snow drifts I spent a lot of time looking through the hidden objects. So I don't know if you guys know, but there's a cheat that you can do. If you type in your cheats box, bb.show hidden objects space on, it shows you a lot of what's called debug objects, and those are objects basically that Sims interact with in the game but are not available to purchase in build and buy mode normally. So such as like ingredients for cooking, or just like stuff that's in the community but not available to build yourself. So those what end up being the snowdrifts are actually fillets of white fish. So that is what I made those out of, and in my opinion it actually ends up looking really good. So let me know what you guys think, because I was like, somebody is gonna see this and know that it's just like fillets of white fish and be really weirded out by that. But it was the best that I could find to make it look like realistic snow, and I thought that that was really important for this build, because that's always one of the biggest characteristics of those Christmas villages, is that they do have a ton of snow. So, this is the best I could do without actually having a seasons pack or access to any actual snow. So let me know what you guys think though. And then for this actual like snow on the ground, I am using, it's a flooring I think from Spa Day, and it kind of actually glows at nighttime, which I think actually looked like a cool effect, because I do have a lot of lights going on at night, and it makes it just look like it's like pretty glistening snow, I think. So here what I am doing is I'm actually making like a little Christmas tree farm, and I thought that was just a really fun addition to the kind of this like Christmas village, Christmas market, whatever you want to call it. So let me know what you guys think about that. You can't actually set landscaping objects for sale in Get to Work. So they're not actually for sale, which I think that would have been so much fun if you could have had it so that your Sims could have gone and actually picked out a Christmas tree. So unfortunately that's not the way it ends up being, but it is just a really cute visual addition in my opinion. And then here I am kind of just fiddling around with signage and different stuff like that. This red and gold carpet, I end up changing it because at first it was just going to be that entryway, and then I decided I wanted more flooring kind of guiding the paths throughout, so I ended up changing it to a stone because it became a little overwhelming just with the sheer amount that I was placing. So I end up doing like kind of just a nice cobblestone, and I think it ends up looking nice, a little bit less, you know, obnoxious, I guess you could say. And I do love that red and gold carpeting for Christmas. It reminds me of Christmas. It's from Vampires, actually. But, you know, it just wasn't working exactly how I wanted it to. So here I am placing, this ended up being like a little place where your Sims could go to take a picture with Santa, and I also had a few other little photo opportunities there, you can see, and I end up moving those over next to where the Santa one is, just so that they could all be kind of in the same place. And I kind of end up also placing like a line. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute, but there's fences that came with, I believe, Get to Work, they're called stanchions. I know that that's kind of a weird word, but that's what they're called, and it's the type of dividers that happen when you're like standing in line at a place. So here I am placing them. I had to mess around with this so much to get it to the place where I actually wanted it to be. And I was just like trying to visualize in my head, okay, if the Sim walks in here and then they need to go to the line this way, it was way more complicated than it should have been, for sure. But I think it's just a fun little addition. Again, this is another thing where it's more just for aesthetics. Like, there's unfortunately not really an actual functionality that you can have where your Sims stand in line to take a picture, but you could definitely have a Sim down there pose as Santa and kind of get some of your Sims to interact with them and take pictures if you wanted to do that, like for storytelling purposes. So down this little area, I kind of ended up just placing a few different, I guess you could call just like functional houses. So one of them ends up being a kitchen, one of them is a bathroom, one I think is a bedroom maybe, and one is just like a little lounge area with like a library and stuff. So that these are not very exciting, and I'm actually going to cut ahead of me furnishing them because I used pre-made rooms on all of them, just because I didn't really want to devote a ton of time to those. But what I pictured them being is just like the people maybe who work here just use those kind of as like a space for breaks or different stuff like that, you know. So here I am moving up to the next level, and this is where I start to place some of like the different actual like little shops and stuff like that, and it ends up looking so cute, guys. I'm obsessed with this build. Let me know if you like it. The one thing that like I am a little weirded out by is not weirded out necessarily, but it's not my favorite, is just that the inside of like the what you could call the mountain, that's kind of what it was supposed to look like, the inside of that ends up just being a big blank space. So it looks really cool from the outside, but when you do like work with wall cutaway view, it is a little bit of like a lot of blank space, but it was just such an overwhelming amount of stuff to do that I couldn't have even filled it in if I tried. And this build already took me like 4 hours probably, and that would have ended up taking like probably another 4 to do the interior. So this that I'm doing right now is using a lot of debug objects as well, and unfortunately when I play tested this, the Sim came through and cleaned up all of the ice cream and cupcakes except for the s'more. So that was too bad, and I actually end up just changing this area to be like a little fire pit. That is why I do play test, because like I said, even though it looks cute, I don't want to upload stuff to the gallery that is unusable for my followers, and you know, that's not my intention. Even though it might look fun, I still want it to be playable, because Sims first and foremost is a game that we play. So I changed that to be a fire pit area, and then your Sims of course wouldn't have actually been able to play on it anyway, so it was kind of just like a fun little feature. So I did this playground area up here that is a lot bigger, and you know, it has a toddler space, it has a little jungle gym, and it also has the big pirate ship, as well as like a horseshoe pit for your adult Sims, and some couches to lounge on and different stuff like that. So I was happy with that little area. So I just thought it would be so fun to be able to bring the whole family here for the holidays, kind of hang out as a family, hang out around the fire, look at the Christmas trees, and maybe do some holiday shopping as well, because like I said, there are a lot of different types of stores. So this that I'm doing here is the toy store, and then there ends up being like a bakery, there ends up being a like a holiday shop that has like Christmas decorations and stuff. There ends up being a furniture store and an appliance store that has fridges and different stuff like microwaves. There ends up being an electronics store that has TVs and radios. And I'm trying to think, I think that might be, oh, did I say a pet store too, like with pet items? So those are all the different stores that I end up placing. And then there's also like a piano lounge. There is a bar with a karaoke machine. And then a few other little random things that I'm not remembering right now. But like I said, tons of options. It almost functions kind of like a shopping mall if you want it to. So if you did end up placing this into your game as a retail lot, one sim would own it, and there's only like one cash register and stuff, but your sims could purchase anything from any of the stores. So I've done shopping malls like this in the past, and it's worked out fine. Just fair warning though, if you do want your sim to own it, it does end up getting a little overwhelming just because of the sheer size of it. It's kind of difficult to serve all of the sims who want to buy stuff. So just fair warning on that. If you were going to do that, I would maybe make sure you had a big household to help out, or that you had lots of employees to help out. That would help as well. So here I am. I'm actually starting on working on some of the interiors. At first I toyed around with the idea of just doing kind of fake interiors, but I decided that I wanted to actually have this function as a shopping mall kind of thing, and so that your sims could actually go and use it. So this is where I start to place some of the interiors. So this ends up being like a bookstore, but you know, it's not really a real bookstore because unfortunately sims cannot purchase stuff from bookshelves. So I guess you could call it a library. That was one I didn't mention before. So there's also a library. That's it right here. And this ends up being super cozy with like a fireplace, some really cute Christmas decorations, and just like a nice little table and couch for your sims to sit and just kind of chill out at, get out of the cold, and you know, just relax a little bit. Just like I said, get out of the cold. That made me think about how badly I want a seasons pack. And I know that this is like not a groundbreaking idea. I know that like most every YouTube simmer has talked about it and wants it. But I would say it's probably on the top of my wants list, just because I just think it would add such an element of realism and interest to the game. I always talk to my husband about that because he's not a big simmer himself, but he's interested in the whole community, and he like likes to hear me talk about it. So he always asks me like, if you could do any pack, like what would it be, or stuff like that, you know. And I always tell him I just want stuff that adds to gameplay, just that adds a new element of gameplay. Because as we all know, as people who play The Sims, sometimes it does get a little old if you're not making it interesting yourself. So just something that would add an element of like, oh, we can't do such and such activity because it's snowing outside or raining, or oh, it's really nice, we should go to the park, just like the moodlets that would be associated with that. And The Sims always does such a good job of just coming up with fun, creative ways to incorporate these new packs. So that's my biggest thing, is I just think it would be so fun the way that they would do it. And I just really want to see how they would do it. I know they would do an amazing job. The Sims team, they are so amazing and impressive. And so that is something that I'm craving for sure, is the Seasons pack. And I'm actually thinking of doing like a Seasons inspired build. Obviously we don't actually have seasons at this point, so I would kind of just be like making my own seasons by just kind of using stuff that felt really summery to me or felt more like it was a fall item. And obviously this would be like a winter inspired one, just with all the holiday stuff, and you know, there is so much fun stuff. I wish that they would come out with a paid holiday pack that was just a lot more in depth, because I know that the free holiday pack is amazing. And I'm so grateful for any free content that we are given, because I know how much work goes into creating each item, and so the fact that they would release it for free for the community is just so amazing. But I honestly, as a creator, I do own all of the packs, and it is something that I spend money on. It's just kind of my personal choice. So if they made a paid holiday pack, I just think it would allow them the opportunity to really flesh out a lot more of it. And they could add a lot more different holidays. Like I wish they would even do like Thanksgiving along with it, and Easter, and you know, they added the Diwali stuff, which is super nice to have another holiday available. And I also wish that they would add like holiday parties. Like, that would be a really fun addition to this season's pack, honestly. I think would be like if they added in Thanksgiving for fall, or some, you know, Thanksgiving type, because I know every country does not celebrate Thanksgiving, but some kind of fall celebration, or and then like a summer celebration akin to like the 4th of July in the United States, or I know some places celebrate the summer solstice. So just whatever they ended up deciding, but kind of similar to how they do festivals, I guess. That would be a lot of fun, I think. And just add another really cool element of gameplay. So that would be probably my top desired pack if I could choose. And, you know, rumor has it, and like there's so much speculation always going on, but people do really suspect that that will be the next big expansion to come out. So fingers crossed for that, because I would absolutely love to see that. But I would also be really happy with like University. I think that would be super fun and interesting. And honestly, every single thing that The Sims has come out with, even if it wasn't something that I was like, oh, I love that so much, or even if it was something that I was skeptical about, like wondering like, am I going to actually play with that? Am I going to enjoy it? I've always enjoyed at least some part of it. So for example, like bowling stuff, not my favorite pack. I haven't used it a ton, but the decorations of it were so stunning. Another example is Parenthood. Honestly, was not my favorite pack decoration-wise, but I love the gameplay that comes with it. So, you know, every pack has something to offer, and I've always enjoyed every pack in some way. So whatever they do, I know that I'll be happy with it, but that would kind of just be like on my wish list, I guess you could say. So we'll see, fingers crossed. I hope that they end up releasing 2 expansion packs next year, which has kind of been the trend, and we'll kind of see what they end up doing, but I'm just always excited about new Sims content, and I'm really excited about the eco living stuff that's coming out. They've been kind of like releasing images and teasers of it and stuff, and they're doing, the item that I'm the most excited about is a round 6-seater table, which is so just like stunning, and I love it. And they don't have any 6-seater tables right now that are round, that is. There's only the 4-seaters, and the 4-seaters, like, while cute, just don't look like they belong in like a family home. They to me are more like what you would stick in an apartment or like in a bar or something like that. But you know, I think that that's something we've really been missing, is the round 6-seater tables. So I'm excited to see how those end up looking in builds, and I think that those will be super cool and just like add a really fun element to like just having that big round family kitchen table, because I know that I had those growing up. My family has one now, they had one when I was younger, and I know a ton of my friends and stuff do as well. So here I've moved up to the next level, and I am placing a few more buildings. So the pink one ends up being a bakery, the red brick one ends up being the pet shop, and then this kind of like, I don't even know what to call it, but it's that wallpaper that came with Windenburg. I believe that ends up being kind of just like a bedroom area almost. I just didn't know what to put there, and I thought maybe like someone would just have purchased a house up here and live up there, so I ended up kind of just doing a little mini house. I believe in that space, but forgive me if I'm not remembering right. There is so many elements to this build that even as I'm watching this, and I just did this really recently, but even as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's how I did that. So it's fun to watch back and remember how I place things and stuff. And I do end up placing a ton of lights and trees just because this build to me looks so amazing at night. It's just so pretty, and I just think that would be a really cool time to like have your Sims come to the Christmas village and shop around and stuff, would be at nighttime and obviously in winter the sun sets earlier. I don't know if that's how it is everywhere, maybe. No, I think it is, because I know that like in Australia, for example, instead of going into winter right now, they're going into summer, and yeah, since they're on the opposite side of the world, they're having longer days, and we're having shorter days in the Western Hemisphere. So I know that like in the winter time, the sun is setting sooner. So like my husband gets home from work at 5-ish usually, and it's already dark almost. So, you know, you would take the family out when the dad gets home from work and the kids get home from school, and it would probably already be a little bit dark. Even though in Sims, I think that we don't get darkness until 9, I believe, is when all the lights turn on, like the exterior lights. So, but anyways, it looks so good at night, and I have a lot of screenshots in the end that are nighttime screenshots. So I think you guys will appreciate and enjoy those for sure. Oh, one thing that I was going to mention that I actually haven't brought up yet is I hit 100 subscribers, and I am so excited about that. I'm recording this voiceover on December 6th, and this video will be uploaded on this following Friday, which will be the 8th. So that was 2 days ago. On the morning of December 6th, I hit 100. Like right when I woke up, I was at 98, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen today. And I am so overwhelmed just by the support that I have received. I cannot thank you guys enough. It's seriously such an amazing blessing that I am able to be part of such an amazing community, and creative and supportive and loving in so many ways. And this has been something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, to make Sims videos. I know that I've mentioned that in a few other of my videos, that I wanted to do it but was kind of just overwhelmed by it. And I'm a mom, and I feel like I'm so old for a lot of the community, and but my husband kind of gave me the push that I needed to create this channel, and was just really supportive of me, and I'm so happy that I did it. And the fact that I already have 100 people that also support my channel and are liking what I'm doing is just such a huge blessing. So I really appreciate that, and thank you guys so much. I've also been really happy that I've been able to get my upload schedule nailed down, and I've been uploading, as you guys probably know now, 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And that has felt really good. Like, I haven't been overwhelmed by it, I haven't been underwhelmed by it, so we're going to stick with that for now. Obviously, if I decide to reevaluate that in the future, I will for sure let you guys know. But as of right now, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday being like fun challenge type videos, just kind of random stuff, like random genetics challenges or whatever I decide to do. Wednesday is Let's Plays. Right now I have my Cats and Dogs Let's Play that I'm doing, but I have a few other ones planned, and I don't know how long I'll have the Cats and Dogs ones go on. Obviously, just if it's something you guys are really enjoying, I don't want to, you know, stop it. Whereas if you guys have ideas of stuff you would rather see me doing, please let me know, and I'd be happy to entertain those. I've had a few people ask about Rags to Riches, and I'm thinking about starting that one in January. I also am definitely going to be doing the Legacy Eras Challenge, which I've talked about a little bit. If you guys want to hear me talk more in depth about that, go watch my video about me making my Sim self, because I kind of just end up rambling a little bit in that video. And I do talk a lot about the Legacy Eras Challenge, and it's going to be so much fun and amazing, and it's not a very popular challenge, so I think you guys are really going to enjoy it, even if you haven't heard of it, because it's just such a well thought out challenge. The person who created it did such a great job, and I'm really excited to do that. And so I'll be starting that one. I've actually sat down and kind of done my whole schedule for uploading through March, and kind of the way that I have it in my brain, and obviously this is totally subject to change, so don't hold me to any of this, but I think I will continue the Strickland Cats and Dogs LP for 10 episodes, so that will be every Wednesday for 10 weeks, and I think that ends up ending at the very end of January. And then I think at the beginning of February, what I'll do is start my Eras Challenge, and I know that that's technically not a Let's Play. It's called a challenge, but it feels more like a Let's Play to me, because it's not like a challenge in like, okay, this is the goal you have to get from point A to point B, just do it however you can. It's more of like kind of just a storyline for you to play. So I believe I'll be doing that on Wednesdays in place of my Let's Play, and then what I also want to do is start Rags to Riches in January sometime. I think I have that scheduled to start about halfway through January. And we'll do Rags to Riches, and I think I'll just play the less intense version, which is where you get to 50,000 simoleons, and if everyone's really enjoying it, and if I'm enjoying it, we may go for the more intense and try to get up to 1,000,000 simoleons, because that's kind of the more rigorous and longer challenge, I guess you could call it. So let me know what you guys think of all of that though. Like I said, I think you really will enjoy the Legacy Eras challenge, and what I'm also going to do along with that is do lots of different era inspired builds. So I'll be doing one for like the ancient era, like caveman era basically. I'll be doing one for the medieval times. I'll do one for the 70s, kind of like a mid-century build. So like a World War II 20s build. And it's going to be amazing. So I'm really excited about that. And I think you guys will enjoy it, like I said. So, but for real, let me know other video ideas that you have, because like I said, that stuff is not set in stone. And if you have something that you'd rather see or that you'd want to see in addition to that stuff, I'm totally open to it. I've honestly considered adding another upload day on the weekend. So if I get to the point where I have a lot of content and I'm not able to fit it onto those 3 days, I am for sure open to uploading a little bit more, because I really have been enjoying uploading. And like I said, I haven't been super overwhelmed by it like I thought I would. So I'm considering adding another upload day, or I've also thought about starting live streaming. So either on YouTube or on Twitch. I really don't know any of the details of what those things would entail. So I don't know which one I would end up wanting to use or which one I would enjoy more. If you do live streaming, please comment below whether you prefer Twitch, whether you prefer YouTube, and why, because I am totally curious to kind of hear other people's opinions of why they went with either one. You know, I just feel like such a total newbie in a lot of ways, and the support of the others YouTubers in the Sims community has been so overwhelming and just amazing, and I do really appreciate that. So for sure let me know, because I totally value your guys' opinions and want to hear what you have to say. So at that point, you kind of just saw me replace all of the snow that I had done on the ground with stone, and I kind of went back and forth a lot as to whether or not I was going to do this, and I actually off camera end up going back in and putting a lot more like of the snow type ground around the borders of the lots. But I just thought, like, if this is a Christmas village where people are shopping a lot, I think that the ground would definitely have walkways. I think they would keep it shoveled and iced and stuff. I don't think it would just be totally covered in snow. So I do end up changing that a little bit. The stone, I liked it, but I just didn't think it was as realistic. So like I said, it does end up being a little bit more kind of in between, and you'll see that in the screenshots at the end. And now we're on the top level, and that is what is supposed to be a ice rink. So I thought that was really cute and fun. Obviously, again, it's not functional, but it's just a little bit more aesthetic than anything. And you totally could kind of like get your Sims to interact with it in a way that would make it look like they were ice skating. And I ended up placing some of those bowling shelves to go along with it that have the shoes on them. So I know they're not ice skating shoes, but they kind of just reminded me of when you go to the ice skating rink. They have the shoes, and you kind of rent them out, similar to bowling. So I decided to put those there. And now I'm working on this art store. Did I mention that there was an art store? I don't know that I did, but there is an art store. This is it. I had such a hard time finding objects that would go onto those higher two pedestals. And I could have used the cheat to move them up a little bit, but I just wanted something that would snap on there and stay nice and wouldn't have to like be weird floating and stuff, because sometimes when you use move objects, people have issues with buying stuff, or you know, just kind of make it weird sometimes. So I wanted to have them actually go on there, and I think I ended up using lots of stuff from Cats and Dogs. They had lots of good shelf items with that pack, so that was really nice, because I always just want more stuff that can be placed on higher shelves. There's lots of stuff that you can place on the lower type of shelves, but the higher ones, for some reason, there's just not as much that you can do. So this ends up being our furniture store. It has just some beds and some couches in it, which is fun. And again, this build, excuse me, does use stuff from nearly every pack. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I know that that's kind of frustrating, because I know that most people don't have every pack unless they are like a really hardcore simmer or are making YouTube videos and stuff. So I apologize for that, but I'm sure you guys understand, just with the sheer size of this build, I would never have been able to fill it up using just base game stuff. So, you know, it ends up looking really cool, but I do understand that does make it a little hard for some of you guys to put in your games. If you do end up putting it in your games and there's stuff missing, I really don't think it would be a big deal to just kind of have it be more aesthetic than anything. That is like the homes, I guess you could call them, that are inside of the village. If they didn't have anything in them, it would still look really cool and amazing, and you still have all the stuff on the exterior that you can interact with. Most of the stuff on the exterior is either base game or holiday stuff, so you know, you could definitely still have this build in your game and interact with it and have it be really cool and pretty. But so this ends up being the, like I said, the holiday store, and then through that little, I end up putting an archway right there. It ends up being like kind of Diwali stuff. So I put like those cute little sand drawings on the ground with the candles on top of them, the lights on the wall, and then those like oil lamps on the table as well. And this honestly might be the last thing that I show myself doing on camera. Yeah, it looks like it is. So now we're into screenshots. This is just a really cute little time lapse. I love the sunset. And then we get into, this is the bar with the karaoke machine. This is the main entrance to the Christmas village. The bakery with the little Christmas tree in the corner. This is the Christmas tree farm where you can buy your Christmas tree. The Santa photo area with the different photoscapes. Here's the ice skating rink on the very top. I put some food stalls in from City Living. Those are fun. And just another little view. You can actually hire vendors to come work at those food stalls if you want to. It is $100, but I think it adds a fun element to gameplay. Here's the play area. Here's that little like lodge library with the table and fireplace. Another view of the bar and the karaoke machine. Here's kind of the entire thing from the exterior. Another view at night. I love these nighttime photos. It just looks so pretty with all the lighting. And I put so many of those like twinkle light trees. But anyways, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this build. If you did, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I also went ahead and uploaded this build to the gallery. My origin ID is at Manda Lee Sims. I'll go ahead and link that in the description below as well. And I hope you guys have a happy holidays and an awesome day, and I will talk to you later.